of LAVs and other Canadian-made weapons to Saudi Arabia is actually in contravention of Canada's legal obligations under the Arms Trade Treaty, to which Canada has been a states party for a couple of years now. Canada cannot permit the export of weapons to a recipient where there is a substantial risk that that recipient is going to use those weapons in contravention of human rights to facilitate human rights abuses.
In 2019, Canada exported nearly $3 billion worth of weapons to the Gulf monarchy. The very year it also signed up for an international arms treaty. And despite global pressure on the Saudis over the assassination of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi in 2020, Canada still raked in around $1.3 billion in weapons deals. But Canadian leaders insist there are strong control systems in place and there's no risk of rights violations. Much of this, of course, centres around the ongoing conflict in Yemen, where Houthi rebels who overthrew the Yemeni government are up against a multinational coalition led by Saudi Arabia. More than 200,000 Yemenis have died since the conflict started in 2014. 4 million have been displaced and tens of thousands are on the brink of starvation. The UN warns that it's the world's worst humanitarian disaster. Kelsey Gallagher says arms sales from Canada facilitate that war.
It's been a hot conflict since 2014 and is deemed one of the world's worst humanitarian crises happening today. And certainly Canada's provision of weapons to Saudi Arabia pose a substantial risk of facilitating that conflict. And that is not just our assessment. In fact, that's actually based on the assessment of the UN group of eminent experts on Yemen, who have for a couple years now stated that the provision of weapons to Saudi Arabia is not only fueling the conflict, but last year in their annual report, they actually centered out and directly named Canada as one of the few countries directly named as supplying weapons and thereby fueling the violence in Yemen.